Good evening, and welcome to FlameFlash.m podcast, episode 104. 104. We're going to get started right with the Raptor Report. And there aren't a lot of big notables this week on the Raptor Report. New Super Mario Bros. U played for a little while. Super Mario World stepped back into nostalgia. Ratchet and Clank All for One played through the first level with the youngest son, and he very much enjoyed it. Collected some more bolts. Beat Super Mario 3D Land. Done. Finished. Finito. All star coins, all levels. It has now been drawered. Not sure when I'll get back to it. Might not. Maxed it out, finished it off, unlocked all its secrets. I can't fully star out the save file that I have just because, well, I have kids. They sometimes use my save file and die a lot. Because I guess one of the ways to get a few more stars on your save file is by not triggering the Super Mario helper thing. You know, you're invincible and you have the Tanuki suit all at the same time. Yeah, they triggered that. Not a surprise. The Sims 3 shows up, and with good reason. I sat back and actually got to enjoy venturing to university with another one of my families. It's a good thing. This time had them all, excuse me, all move into a sorority house as opposed to a dorm. Just to try something slightly different. We'll see how it plays out. Wait and see. League of Legends. Now, if you're still League of Legends curious, if you've tried it and feel you didn't like it, go back to it. Try it again. Keep trying it. Because unfortunately with this game, you do need to beat your head against your keyboard until you find a character that you actually like. That the style fits you perfectly. For me, that was Lux. Jenna is a close second, but they're both support characters. So, what do you play in World of Warcraft? Do you play a healer? Do you play a tank? Do you play a melee DPS? Do you play a ranged DPS? Think back to that. Most of my characters are either ranged DPS, or healers. I have a couple of tanks smattered in, but the characters that I have the most fun with are usually healers or ranged DPS. That's why Lux fits. She's basically a disciplined priest flinging out shields and casting from a distance. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. If you're a tanky variety, go with something melee. Go with something that's going to take a lot of hard hits. Miss Fortune is the other character that I'll probably be picking up eventually because ranged. Ranged DPS, yet again. Now, I mentioned World of Warcraft. Did play it this last week, but nothing super notable about it. Mostly because it was Children's Week last week, and I made sure that on all of my characters that are under 90, I went and got the free experience points of the Stormwind Children's Week quests. There's a lot of good XP there. A lot of good XP. I think I leveled at least one character, maybe two, just from going around Azeroth a little bit. But last but not least, and this has a funny story with it, Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS, Dark Moon. Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. So, this was supposed to have been a birthday present for me. But, you know, as I tell the kids, when you see a mess, don't step over it. Clean it. Right then and there. Don't wait for somebody else. Doesn't matter whose mess it is. Pick it up off the floor. Don't step over it. I was simply trying to follow my own advice. So here I am, walking from where I am now to the kitchen. And I noticed there's a pile of papers where a pile of papers usually isn't. Pick it up, relocate it to where at least a portion of those papers usually are, and lo and behold, there is an upside down 3DS game case. Now, when I say upside down, I mean that when you look at it from the quote-unquote top, I'm trying to pull one out of my game drawer so I can share. There we go. Its label isn't showing you. Oh, now something's wedged in there. There we go. So that's all you see. For those not watching the YouTube, it's just that blank opening piece. The lighting wasn't good, so I couldn't see that there was cellophane across it. So, what do? I pick it up and I prepare to flip it around. Now, what actually happens is that it ends up being Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. So, what the... Wife? What's this doing in here? Exasperated sigh. Because I'm suddenly standing there holding one of my birthday gifts. The birthday gift from the oldest son, actually. Now, this is a blessing and a curse. Because when Iron Man 3 came out last Friday, we all went. Well, son and I going, no problem. Baby doesn't mind. Baby newbie, it's okay. Daddy leaves the home on a regular basis every day and comes back. No problem. We came back, picked up Red Flare, dropped her and the oldest daughter off. See, rather than trying to take the whole family and one of the babies getting upset or bored and then us being required to leave to, be polite, we go to the big movies in shifts. I, with the oldest son, scout it out, make sure there aren't any super scary parts for the younger but still oldest daughter. And then they go. Red Flare and Little Miss. So, when they go, and we drop them off, newbie flips. As she usually does. Separation anxiety issues. She sat by the door, complaining, "Mama, Mama, Mama," and of course trying to pry the door open with tiny little baby chubby fingers. That doesn't really work. I couldn't do anything. She was inconsolable. But I had Luigi's Mansion in my pocket. Pull out the 3DS. Of course, the 3D is turned off in these kinds of situations. Rarely play with the 3D on, actually. And rarely. And I start playing Luigi's Mansion. She's a gamer. I can already tell she has a high interest in gaming. So she eventually gave up her quest to break out and sat in my lap and watched for a little while. Then she got up and toddled into the living room and started actually playing with a toy or two. But it was Luigi's Mansion to the rescue. I'm not sure she would have been as interested in an older game, one that she's seen a lot before. But this one, this new game, definitely of interest to her. And to me. High marks for Luigi's Mansion. I have only gotten far enough to unlock the multiplayer mode, but the multiplayer mode works exceptionally well. You really do need 4 people just to be sure you clear the map entirely and then have enough people spread out so that they can collect the red coins at the end of a successful round. But it's a very good game. I look forward to continuing to play it, if I can ever pry it from the younglings. But that is the Raptor Report. Now, alongside the Raptor Report, we have the fact that Sims 4 has been announced. That's it. That's all we know. Oh, and it's going to support offline mode. Woo! Don't all Sims games do that? Well, that I guess they're just making a nod to their huge mistake with SimCity. Speaking of which, I haven't played it much at all because, well, it's once you fill up your little city region, what's the point in going back? Diablo 3 had the gold-based and I think regular money-based auction houses shut down because some folks found a gold duplication bug. Now, what Blizzard is doing right now, rather than doing, say, a full server rollback, is just tracking down these particular ones and getting them. So, whoever you are out there, you've been caught and you will be compromised by Blizzard. Now, here's a weird one. Adobe is offering a subscription service rather than, say, putting together a CS7. I see no need. No need. $50 a month. Alright, that's going to be fine for a business that feels that they can handle it. But it doesn't make sense for everybody else. I know they're a business, just trying to make money. But So, yeah. Goodwill, Adobe, gone. Gone. Go find yourself a free version of an equivalent piece of software, something open source, of course. And the news is pretty small this week. I blame E3 preparation. But a viral video of a 12-year-old interviewing a motorcycle police officer has surfaced. And I just want to offer Flame Flash support. The kid did the right thing. And it's nice to see that folks out there are still raising their children with quite obvious question authority rules. But there he was, starting to record. Now, why does a 12-year-old have a means of recording anybody? That I'm not sure of. But the officer parks on the sidewalk, goes into the store, comes out of the store, is stopped by the kid. I don't know. I'm just glad he had the courage to stand up and say, hey, I see you doing something wrong. All right. Well, before the younglings start to stir, I think I'm going to, and before I face plant into the desk because of nodding off, I'll let episode 104 come to a close. Have a good evening, everybody. I'm Flame Flash. I'm Flame Flash over on Raptor. I'm Flame Flash over on Twitter. If you want to write into the show, it's podcast@flameflash.net. Come and stay a while. This has been episode 104, signing off.